That is how a broadcast on Iranian state TV ended, courtesy of an Israeli airstrike. The war now enters day 5. They were on live television when this happened. Listen, that blast hit and hard. You see the broadcaster moving there. Some of the employees, we understand, of that news organization hurt. Iran's news agency says the channel was eventually able to get back on the air, but that just gives you an idea of how fast people are needing to pivot, or perhaps the reason for the warnings for the entire city of Tehran to evacuate. And this is why. And you can see here, black smoke seen on both sides between Israel and Iran. This is billowing there from Israel after a volley from Iran. Nobody was hurt in this specific attack, but Israel reports that hundreds have been killed in that country in the last 5 days. So we're joined now by Eric Loeby's associate professor of politics and international relations at FIU, Florida International University. I've driven past your campus many, many times. Our best to you and your students. No doubt some important conversations happening there on that campus today. Do you see U.S. involvement as ramping up, as we are aware that right now President Donald Trump is in his Situation Room considering that very question?
Well, it's hard to predict what's going to happen, Reed, in such a fluid situation where events and developments are changing by the minute, by the hour, by the day. But we do know, as you said, that President Trump is in his Situation Room, and he's really facing a critical juncture or inflection point in terms of which way he's going to go, whether he's going to listen to the isolationists in his camp, along with G7 countries who are pleading for de-escalation and for the United States to get back on the diplomatic path that it had been on before the Israeli strikes on Friday, or whether he will listen to the hawks and the interventionists, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, to directly intervene and strike at Iran's nuclear facilities, which really would require U.S. warplanes and bombs to accomplish that task.
So with all of those chess pieces on the board, is it too late for a diplomatic solution?
Well, nothing's too late at this point, and President Trump recognizes that himself. Yesterday, he had stated that Vice President J.D. Vance and even his special envoy Steve Witkoff could potentially negotiate with the Iranians, the Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and others this week. But on the flip side, he has sent mixed messages as to whether he is going to be pursuing diplomacy to get back to imposing restrictions on Iran's nuclear program for sanctions relief, or whether he will join Israel in striking at Iranian nuclear targets and other military targets inside the country, which could bring a whole range of risks to U.S. National interests, not to mention regional stability.
You have to wonder if President Donald Trump isn't seeing this through the lens of what he has said in the Oval Office in recent days, talking to other world leaders. You don't have the cards. You know, you look at the fact that Iran's leadership has been decimated. They are crippled economically. Talk to me about how likely those things factor into the decision making here. One could argue that this is the opportune time for Israel to go in and do what President Trump said aboard Air Force One and get more than just a ceasefire.
Well, I think in the Situation Room, President Trump is trying to make that assessment with his national security and other officials. And this even explains why Israel may have conducted those strikes on Friday to begin with, sensing that Iran is weak and inflicting greater weakness on the Iranian regime in not only taking out nuclear and military infrastructure, but also the top senior commanders and nuclear scientists of the country. The risk is that the United States, alongside Israel, overestimates the situation. And in the event that the United States deploys, it could face what little air defenses Iran may have left, not to mention the arsenal of Iranian drones and missiles, not just against Israel, but against the 40,000 troops and other U.S. assets in the region. And then another option that Iran has discussed has been closing down the Strait of Hormuz, which would ostensibly send international oil prices spiking at a time when inflation is already high in the United States and around the world.
Professor, we thank you so much for your time today. Our best to your students as you talk about these world issues in real-time object lessons to make an education very valuable. our best to your students and to you. Thank you so much.